Alright, well, what do we have here? So, this is the orange car we've had for a while. Actually had a somewhat built car. I did just redo the interior, replaced the dash, fixed up a bunch of wiring. I still got to do a couple things. I left this open because I got to do the plug end. So I kind of have, well, let's just do this. Kind of have this set up to repair this engine bay here and make it into something presentable. Now, this did have this cut out because they had external gated manifold on here, which I personally don't like. So I repaired that. Once it's painted, it'll look pretty good. We'll put the seal across here. Everything's going to fit in there quite nicely. Yeah, I kind of did just give that away. We are going to be painting this. I'm going to pop some of this stuff off. I got to tape everything off here today. I do have the original orange color. That's what we're going to be putting on here. And guarantee that this is going to be quite amazing. So anyway, I covered it with the tarp. Try to keep the condensation here first thing this morning out. And it seemed to work out pretty good. So you don't want water where you're painting. Now, like I said, I redid some of this stuff. Here's some of the stuff we pulled out of there. I set the fenders in here. There's the big front mount down underneath there, the headlights, some of the other trim panels. A lot of the stuff that I got to clean and fix up. I mean, you know, we're not talking 100% perfect car, but you know, we're talking a 15, 16-year-old car here. So, right now, I'm going to basically, you know, I'll wipe this thing down just a little bit with some paper towels and get some of the stuff off of it, and we're going to start taping this thing off. I do got to dig out some stuff for that, and we'll show you how we get that stuff taken care of. Show you some of the paint we're going to use, and get this thing looking gorgeous. Alright, kind of doesn't really look like a car. I actually use old blankets to drape stuff off. It's a whole lot faster, more convenient, reusable than newspaper or plastic or any of the fancy stuff that you could buy. And I mean, I've had, you can tell there's red and stuff on there, so I've had good luck. We got these parts set over here. I actually have this set up because I had to paint one small piece black, but we are ready to go. I'm actually getting ready to get the paint mixed up now. So we should have this thing painted, and I'll show you what it looks like with the base coat, and we'll get a couple shots somewhere in between there. Like I said, I'm just going to try to douse what's up on top here. Gotta get plastic clips down in there. And you know what I mean, we're not really too worried about down in here. We just, you know what I mean, we just made sure we masked off everything that we needed to. Now this here I'm going to have to modify because I'm putting the hood latch back on. I'm doing away with any of the hood pins setup that was on here. So let's get some color down. A little bit of liquid gold down in here. Look at that. Some pretty stuff right here. We don't use any kind of fancy gun. This is just a cheapie. It works just as good, you'll see. So we got everything mixed up pretty good. I mixed it really good in the container here before I dumped it into here. And yeah, I mean, looks pretty. This will be my first time spraying this color, so I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to come out. I've actually had this paint for quite some time. It was for another car that I had, so it's kind of nice to actually get the opportunity to use it. This is a quart container, so like I said, not knowing how it's going to cover, we definitely have enough here, so let's get this on. Alright, so I don't know. How does it look? I mean, I think the color covered actually pretty good. I mean, if you've done any kind of painting, you know, getting paint to cover just doesn't exactly work out so well. Like I said, we weren't too worried about getting down in these wheel wells. They're going to be black anyway. We'll probably dust that with a little bit of stuff. You know, we weren't too worried about getting down in here, but we did get coverage over anything that would be exposed, along with up and across here. So, I mean, you got to figure, you're opening the hood, this thing's going to look good. Now, here's these under hood, the strut brackets, and here's our engine mount. So, we got good color on those. Here's this little piece I got to paint black. So, just a little tiny piece. So, we're going to do that, and then we're going to drop some clear on this. Well, what do you think? It's definitely one step closer. It's hard to say. Let's see here. It's definitely lighter than the color. But it's definitely good enough for an engine bay. Definitely. And the fact that it now has a cowl panel, it looks pretty darn good. So I got to get some of this stuff back together, but I'm actually going to let this stuff dry. We'll actually have a pretty cool day here today, which is perfect for this stuff. If I was actually painting something that mattered, it would have came out beautifully. You know, you can tell I didn't do crazy here on prep work, so you can still see a little bit of scratches in this stuff, but it's an engine bay. So, and it's not a show car, but it's an engine bay. So, there we go. I mean, that stuff's finished up. Can't wait to get it together now. We need to get the motor in. And the turbo. And fancy fuel line system. All the good stuff.